It has been a week of tweaks. Maybe not the biggest names, maybe not the worst injuries for all of them, but it could cost some seasons. It could change some seasons. We got five big injuries we'll go over today here on Injury Territory. Hi, welcome back to Injury Territory. I'm Will Carroll. Edward Egros isn't able to make it today, so I'll take it and we'll go over, like I said, five big injuries. These are tough ones, and for some of these players, for some of these teams, that's the season. I don't think it's going to completely alter the course of the season for the teams themselves, but it's going to alter how they do it, the shape of the season, if you will. And let's start in Baltimore with Zach Eflin. Unfortunately, Eflin came out of a game, an elbow injury, and it looked bad. We'll have to see exactly how bad. We still don't have all the results. The anticipation is that this is either a UCL, the Tommy John ligament, or a flexor tendon injury, or both. They're right there together. They act in concert. So when either of those goes, it's tough. Now, Eflin's coming back from back surgery. On the other hand, he's also coming back from lat surgeries, has quite the history of injuries. He's been very good when healthy, but he was on a 1 year, I think it was a $10 million deal. So he had passed a physical recently, and they would have checked. Now, wasn't able to get anybody at Baltimore to say outright that his ligament was okay at that point or that it is now. They haven't released that either. So we'll have to see exactly where this goes. But right now, looks like Eflin's going to be lost for the season. They've had a run of injuries, traded away Grayson Rodriguez in the offseason, kind of retooled what they have there in Baltimore. Now they're going to have to go a little bit deeper and may have to do that all season long. Might be interesting to see whether they sign Eflin. Now, I know that sounds crazy. He's injured. He might be out for the season. Why would they sign him? Well, he's only on a 1 year deal. So would you put him on an extension so that they do get something from him? Allow him to rehab, get maybe the same deal, a little bit less, some sort of innings bonus. We see that a lot, even with injured pitchers that are going to be out a year and aren't signed. They do. I used to call it a John Lieber deal, but not a lot of people remember John. Jim Hendry, when he was with the Cubs, signed John Lieber to a 2 year deal. 1 year was rehab. The next, he came back and was normal and was good and was a really good pitcher for quite a while. So we'll watch to see what happens with Eflin. The other one that we talked about earlier in the week, and now we have the results of it, is Cody Ponce. He left with that apparent knee injury. It was a knee injury, and it was a knee sprain. Now, again, let's talk about this. A sprain is a tear. So people that were saying, "Oh, it's just a sprain," no, no, no. A rupture is still a sprain. It's a grade 3 sprain. What I'm told that Ponce has is a grade 2, 2 plus. It's right on the edge. Basically, the question they're asking is that ligament going to heal and hold up? Is it going to be functional, even though it has a significant tear now? That significant tear, again, we call that a sprain. Any injury to a ligament is a sprain. Any injury to a tendon or a muscle, that's a strain with a T, sprain with a P. I know they're confusing. I don't hit people when they mess that up, but I do hate when people say, "Oh, it's just a sprain," because a sprain is a tear. The word most people are looking for in that situation is rupture. If the ligament is all the way torn completely through, that is a rupture. We see this with Achilles tendons quite a bit. We see this with ACLs quite a bit. And that's what he's dealing with here. It's a sprain, not a complete rupture, but we'll have to see whether or not Neil Elitrosh out in LA, he's going to examine it. He's going to take a look. He's going to do his own tests and determine it. Now, Neil's done a ton of surgeries, whether that's elbows, whether that's knees, whether that's ankles, whether that's shoulders. He's done a ton of work, ton of great work, a ton of groundbreaking work. So it's no surprise that somebody like Ponce would want to go and see one of the best doctors. We see this over and over. There's only a few of these super surgeons, as I call them. Yeah, I used to do a top 10 list when I was at Sports Illustrated, and right now I'm not even sure I could get down to 10. There's really about 5 or 6 right now. Don't get me wrong, there are some really good doctors out there. It's just it's so concentrated, and one of those doctors we're going to be talking with real soon. That's Jeff Dugas. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you don't miss that one. It's going to be a great one. Uh, so one more before we go to break, and that is Zach Wheeler. Everything's going right with Zach Wheeler. He's on the 15-day. He's got to at least make one more rehab start. That's going to be Friday. I'm told they're going to make a determination after that. The plan is that he will have another rehab start. Uh, but if he's that good, would would they consider bringing him back? Yeah, absolutely. The Phillies, they're not a dumb team. They know that Zach Wheeler's going to help them. They also know their rotation looks pretty good, and the decision point is probably going to be Taijuan Walker. Do they want to go? Uh, do they give him one more start? Do they give Wheeler one more start? I'm always going to bias to the you know more consistent, the guy who is better. No offense to Taijuan, great kid. Remember, met him when he was with Seattle, much younger, and he's put together a pretty good career. Kind of found himself in the right situation there in Philadelphia, but he might have to go to the bullpen for a little while, keep his arm ready because there are going to be times that something happens, something small, something big, and pitchers like that in the swing have to be ready. I'd love to see the ways to use him more. And not just him, but these types of pitchers short starts sometime when their recovery is down, and then you put a guy like Walker in there to take those bulk innings. I still don't like that term, but come in as kind of a piggyback, as kind of a load saver, if you will. So we'll have to see exactly where that goes. Uh, but with Wheeler, everything's going well. Coming back from that thoracic outlet surgery, I don't know if the Iron Pigs are going to do rib day again on Friday, but great promotion. Absolutely great promotion. And so far, everything just going to plan for Zach Wheeler. That's good news for the Phillies. That's good news for fantasy players that are waiting on him to come back. Doesn't look like we're going to be waiting much longer. You'll have to wait a little bit longer for a couple more injuries. We're going to go to break here on Injury Territory.
This episode is brought to you by Fox One. Go get that new app. Stream baseball, stream football, stream World Cup action. You'll be watching.
Oh, definitely. I can't wait. I actually want to try and get to a game. But while I'm there, I'll still have my Fox One app. I'll have MLB, the great shows that Fox has, college football that I love, college basketball. They have it all. This really is the app that you can get all of anything you want to watch on an app. Fox One has it, and they are great at it.
Yeah, the big sporting events. And by the way, the World Cup is June 11th to July 19th. You can get a free 7-day trial of Fox One. So go check that out. And you can start your 7-day free trial today. Offers are subject to change. Go to Fox One for complete terms and conditions. Fox One, streaming now.
Welcome back to Injury Territory. I'm Will Carroll. And let's go over a couple more injuries, and then I'm going to give you a couple little tidbits before we get out of here on what should be a short, concise episode, but hopefully you learn a little bit and you're able to understand baseball and sports medicine and sports science a little bit more. Let's go to the next injury, and that is Chase DeLauter. Chase DeLauter had, wow, what a start to his season. Blasting the ball out, looking every bit like the top prospect that he is. But we do have to remember one of the reasons he's been held back is foot injuries. So what happens to him the other night? Boom, fouls the ball off. Now he did have a guard. Those aren't armor. Those aren't perfect. They help. They help a lot. Some of these new modern ones are great, and I don't know why players don't wear them all over the place. Padded gloves. But it still hurts. If you've ever taken a foul ball off the foot, it really hurts. The bones down there, first, they're small. I mean, the bones of the hands, the bones of your feet, they're just small. They're designed to do very, very specific things, which is motion, moving you forward, allowing you to jump and run and do all those things. But they're not designed to get smashed from the top. It's very innervated down there. There are more nerves. There's more pain. If somebody stomps on your foot, First, it's a very effective self-defense, and second, it hurts like crazy, which is why it's effective. If you start breaking some of those bones, it's intensely painful and really difficult to put those back together. If you talk about things like a Lisfranc fracture, that was found in like the Napoleonic Wars by one of the doctors, Dr. Lisfranc, and the treatment was amputation. We've gotten a little bit better since then. DeLauter does not have a fracture. It's just a bruise, just a bruise. It still hurts. And the thing for him is he's had this before, except worse. His feet are kind of his kryptonite. That's the one weakness in his game, has been staying healthy. We've seen he has all the talent in the world. We've seen he fits really well in the front of this Guardians lineup. So all he has to do is stay healthy. And he's one of the guys that's going to be right in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. If he keeps hitting home runs like that, he's going to be in a lot more conversations, and the Guardians are going to go pretty deep. So we'll have to watch how that goes. Looks like just a bruise, miss a couple games, come back. Another just a bruise happened to Carlos Estévez, the Royals closer. Took a ball just right off his ankle. And if you think about your ankle, I won't try to get bendy and put mine up here, but if you think about those points of the ankle, the malleolus is the anatomical term. It's those little bony protrusions at the end. That's what got hit. It went 100 miles an hour right off that spot. Just like getting your foot stomped on, getting kicked in the ankle, getting hit by a projectile coming that fast, it hurts. And the body's reaction is simple: first pain, then inflammation, tenderness, so you don't walk on it. So your body signals that you need to sit down somewhere and get treatment. Now, he's been in a walking boot. I never read much into it. You shouldn't either. Walking boots are just the first move for anything lower body. You put them in a walking boot the same way you used to put them on crutches. The walking boots are fine. They protect it. They move it through. Yeah, earlier this winter, I screwed up. I fell over my dog, of all things, and had turf toe. And so I was in a boot for about 3 weeks. Had to have a special insert in my foot. It has nothing to do with it. But I'm telling you, the walking boots are effective. They're a little bit annoying. They're clumpy. You're kind of thrown off balance because one is bigger than the other until you find a shoe that's sort of the same height. But again, it's just taking the weight off it. It's making sure that he's not doing any more damage to it, that it relieves some of the pain and allows some mobility. It's so you can get him home, more or less. So don't read too much into it. He is going to the IL, I understand, because he just simply isn't going to be able to put a lot of weight on that foot. And when you think about the pitching motion, you're going to have weight on both feet. You're going to be able to hold balance. So they're just going to take the 15 days. Make sure this is okay. From what I hear, from a source who talked to someone there, this is sort of secondhand from me, but trusted guy. You have to got to read into these. They just thought he was going to be out a week. Why wait? They've got other guys who can take that role. Steves is good. He's been a good signing for them, but they've got a fairly deep bullpen when healthy. So we're going to have to see who steps in. I don't think this is going to be a problem for Steves. He's going to be able to throw, not normally, but he's going to be able to keep up some workload. You don't have to have a long ramp if you're a closer. You just have to be able to have enough to go out there and get things done. So last two tidbits that I want to throw out there. If you have the chance, you should check out the Apple Vision Pro. I'm a big advocate of it. I've had it since it came out. I am that gadget geek, but the MLB app this year is absolutely stunning. You get no sense of this, but it's all in 3D immersive. You get to see the game up there. You've to the left, you've got the stats, all the statcast stuff. You see traces for all the throws, where it goes in the strike zone. You see everybody moving. Yeah, it's almost like a video game down below. You can follow the tracks of the hits. You can follow the tracks of all the throws, how the players are moving, how far a throw went from the outfield, and at what all those great statcast things. Plus, you see the lineup on the right, but it's just a great experience. It is an expensive device. There's no way around that. I don't know if there's a similar on the Meta Quest this year, but the visuals are just. I've had both. I've experienced both. The visuals on the Vision are just levels above. So if you get a chance, head by the Apple Store and ask if you can check one out. See if they have the MLB app queued up there, because this year it's a great experience. I also want to tease Under the Knife a little bit, because coming out on Friday, I finally found out what Shohei Ohtani had done with his elbow. It's almost what we expected, but when I finally got the details, it was like, oh, it was right there in front of us all the time. Uh, a lot of us misread something, and now that I've got confirmation on it, now that I know what was done, and now that we've seen Shohei Ohtani the other night look absolutely lights out, it sure looks like it worked. Now the question is, what is this surgery good for? Is it just for revisions? Is it going to be something that we see a lot? But going to be very, very interesting to see if any other players have a similar type of surgery. If Neil Eltrash has been doing this all along, because there are so many variants now. There's just the plain old classic Tommy John. There's docking techniques. There's the internal brace. There's Chris Ahmad's TJ3, and now we have Neil Eltrash doing something that's even a little bit more complicated, advanced, better. Don't know. It's one of the things is there's a lot of experimentation, and at these early days with an arm like Otani, people are going to say, "Give me that Otani arm." It'd be nice if we could just transplant those all over the place. Listen, I want to thank everybody for watching, for subscribing. Make sure you do all the things to make sure that either on YouTube or podcast, you don't miss an episode, because the injuries are just going to keep on coming. I'm Will Carroll, and I'll see you next time.